Hi everyone, so today I'm going to talk about why people lose funds in crypto, whether they're investing on spot or whether they're doing future trading, margin trading, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you this mathematically because it's all about finance, it's all about numbers. So if you don't have your math right, you are just wandering around and you're doing things in a very wrong way. I'm going to explain it to you why if you do the math and you calculate it for yourself how you should do it, you will not fail with it. So first let me show you an example. There are hundreds of ways of doing it, but I'm going to use one example just to make you understand. So for example, there's this famous methodology that is pretty much prominent in the market. It is called 2% strategy. Okay, what does the 2% strategy means? It means that if you have $100,000 of wealth, okay, then what you do is that you only take 2% of that to trade. Okay, 2% of $100,000 is $2,000, which means that every time when you take a trade on spot or on future, you don't go above 2%. Okay, and you can have a different policy. For spot, you maybe want to do 5% because you can rely more on 5% on spot. But for future trading, you should really stick to this unless you are extremely good. It really depends on the person, okay? But let's stick to the 2% concept. What does 2% means? It means that you need to fail 50 times, okay? 50 times. You need to have 50 bad trades in order to fail and lose all the $100,000, which means that you need to be so bad that after failing, then you should leave investing in crypto or in Forex or whatever you're doing, right? So you take a 2% position, which is $2,000. So every time you take a trade, it should be with the $2,000 of amount. If you hear the sound in the background, it's my cat, okay? There he is. He's just annoyed. Anyway, he's the same cat that jumped off the building, but now he has recovered. So every time you take a trade, you should take it with the same amount. The problem that I face with people who have lost money, sometimes they take it with 2,000, sometimes they take it with 10,000. And what happens? When they're winning, they take a trade with $500. And they're lucky enough, what happens is that the trade goes really up by 100%, which means they 2x their money and it becomes $1,000, which was a good win, but they took a position of $500, okay? Next time when they're losing, what they do is that they take a $10,000 position. Of course, they don't know in advance that they're going to lose. It's just that they feel that, I should take a $10,000 position in this trade, and they lose 80% of it. Okay, and what happens is that they have lost $8,000. So when they're losing $8,000. When they're making $500, and that is exactly the problem with not consistently trading with the same amount of $2,000 or 2%, whatever is your back. This is why you need to stick to a strict policy where you have a consistency and it should make sense. If you don't have a consistency and you're putting in random number of $10,000, then you're putting in $500, you will not make any money. I can promise you that, because mathematically that does not make any form of sense. Second thing that you need to do is that you need to identify your risk appetite, something I talk about over and over again. I have covered this in videos. Go and watch my video on YouTube, or if you cannot find it on TikTok, it's called risk appetite. You need to identify what is your risk appetite. So let's say that you have a risk appetite that is risk averse, which means that you don't want to take any form of risk. What does that mean is that if you're taking a chance of stop loss, okay, so your stop loss is 2% below your entry, okay, so you are entering a particular coin, okay, at $100 price, okay, and your stop loss is at $98, okay. What does it mean? That you expected it to go up, but it actually went down by 2%. It went to 98. your trade will close. Why? Because you don't want to marry a coin and you want to sit with it. You don't want to be that person who has invested in XRP for 5 years and they're going nowhere with it. Their money is stuck there. They're not becoming profitable. Theoretically, yes, they are 5x above, but in hand, they have nothing. In their hands, they have $0 whatsoever. All they rely on is external money that they bring in from outside. They invest with a hope that someday they will sell and they will make profit. You don't want to be that person. That is why you are doing this, right? So you take a you take a 2% loss and you get the hell out of it. Okay. So you're taking a 2% loss. Okay. What you would expect in return, your policy being a risk averse, is that at least it should raise up by 6%, which means that it is going to increase by 3 times, because you are taking 2% of a loss, but the return is 3 times more. It is 6%, which means that when you invest $2,000 in it, okay, it will increase by 3 times and it will become $6,000, okay? And when you lose this whole $2,000, okay? So now let's talk about 10 trades, okay? So you took 10 trades, and out of these 10 trades, 5 failed, okay, and 5 were successful. You are not so good. What happened is that, again, if you are hearing sounds, it's my cat eating food. Apologies for that. It's just that I like to make videos in one go. I'm not a guy who follows a script. So you have 50% accuracy. You are not so awesome. You take a trade. It is most likely either going to fail or become successful. You are that kind of a person, right? So you took 10 trades. So every time you failed, you lost 2%, okay, which means your whole position of $2,000 was gone. So you had $100,000. So you failed 5 times. Every time you lost $2,000, okay. 2 into 5 is $10,000. You lost $10,000. Every time you became successful, 2 into 3, that was $6,000, right? We calculated it here, that if we win, we only take trades that are going to give us at least 6%. So every time when you win, it becomes $6,000. So you win 5 times, which is 5 trades, and you won $6,000 every time. 6 into 5 is $30,000. So now when you look at it, overall, you have made a profit of $20,000. You lost $10,000, but you have increased your portfolio by $20,000. This is another 0 in case you were thinking. So overall, your bank account would be, after 10 trades, $120,000, because you lost 10 and you made 30, even though your success rate was not so awesome. So what we have learned from this is that if you have a system in place, this is just one example, there are hundreds of ways of doing it. If you have something written down somewhere, you have systemized your methodology, you will make money. I have seen extremely stupid people making money that have a strategy and a discipline in place. They don't let their emotions make them break the rules that they have decided, that I just decided, right? They stick to it and they always follow. If it's going to fail, become successful, they follow through it. So stupid people with not so good knowledge, they always win. Intelligent people with all forms of knowledge and everything, they fail just because of the fact they don't have a discipline, they don't have a strategy. People call it risk management. Basically, they don't understand what the hell they should do, and they just move around with the flow, hoping that things will work out, but things don't work out. I hope you don't become that kind of a person and you actually follow what I have just taught you.